Another question I have all the time is, in March, Fannie Mae changed their home measuring standards.
A measuring standard has been around for a long time, but they've adopted it. So now it's a universally applied measurement standard. This opened up a whole new world.
So how does that play into the square footage?
That's a great question. USPAP, the University Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice. It doesn't say anywhere in USPAP that appraisers have to abide by this measurement standard. This is strictly for the secondary lending market. For Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, all these quasi-government agencies. They created the mortgage industry. You write mortgages, you sell them to the secondary market. In order to do that, things have to be standardized. So they're comparing apples to apples. So that's why they went to this universal measuring standard. Now, it's a lot different than the standard, the square footage numbers an assessor might have. Here's the best case in point. In one of the towns up here in the northwest part of town, there are a lot of Cape Cod style homes. Most of them originally were built as 2-bedroom, 1-level homes with an unfinished attic. The attic's big, it has dormers, so there's a lot of space up there. And over the years, people convert that to like a master bedroom or maybe 2 more bedrooms.
Yeah.
And they'll usually have a pitched roof, ceiling, and a knee wall, maybe a 3 or a 4-foot knee wall. And measure the interior of that, maybe you allow for the 4-foot knee wall, you measure the square foot, you add it to the square footage because it's finished square foot. It's part of the central heating system is connected to it. So it's all contiguous. Everybody in the world would say, yeah, that's part of the house, that's part of the square footage. Not necessarily when you apply this ANSI standard. Because under ANSI standard, you have to have a minimum of a 7-foot ceiling height over 50% of that square footage. So now as an appraiser, you're up there measuring the ceiling. This is gonna make it. So that's second floor bedroom, master bedroom with a half a bath, all of a sudden is not part of your square footage. And you've got an irate real estate broker down on the first floor chatting with a homeowner saying, oh yeah, this is 1,600 square feet. I said, no, it's 1,200. It's 1,200 square feet. He said, well, how do you account for that space? Well, you account for it as, you count it as a bedroom, you count it as a half a bath, and you figure the contributory value, not based on the square footage, but as a finished attic.
So you still get value.
It's just allocated differently. And it's hard to explain that, especially to real estate brokers that don't adopt that standard. Little by little, we're catching on. That conversation with appraisers who have to follow that if they're doing work for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which is 80% of the mortgage market.
What about this? Cape Cod's, okay, that makes sense. Split levels.
If it's below grade, it's not counted as square foot, even if it's partly below grade. So you got a split level or a raised ranch style house, a good chunk of the square footage is below or partly below grade. That's a finished basement. You might have a family room, a bedroom, another bathroom, a utility room, a lot down. You may even have another level down. You count the rooms,
but not the square footage.
And then you add in finished basement, the contributory value. So you're really kind of double counting it. So you should end up in about the same place.
What if, which these are rare, but split levels have a basement below that? Essentially, you have 2 basements.
Didn't we run into one of those recently? It had 2 basements.
Interesting.
It had a basement below the basement. So it was partly below grade, and then there was one that was completely below grade.
Wow.
So you get a finished basement adjustment, and then you get a utility basement adjustment.
That's going to be a wash with most of your comparables.
Yep.
It's just going to wash. You're not going to get any. There's not going to be any bang there for that. But the finished basement part, absolutely, there's contributory value in this market for sure.